All right. We are live. It is post Oscars. And let's do this.
Let's get it on.
We're all here. I'm Terry. We've got Todd, Adam, and Zach / Zanora. If you're listening to the podcast feed, this is episode 311. If you're watching us live on YouTube, welcome. We're also on Facebook, all the places, all of the things. We just watched the Oscars, hosted by Conan O'Brien and played by Bill Skarsgård.
Not Skarsgård, Zach. That's a different family.
That's a different family.
Okay. Not related.
Don't talk like that in wine country. They think you're some kind of dumb shit.
Yes. There we go. Is that better?
Yes.
That's much better.
Okay, good.
We just watched Anora win Best Picture. It kind of.
I didn't.
Adam didn't. Apparently, Adam didn't.
I didn't see the last two awards. It was stupid. Damn you, Hulu. I blame Disney. If this was on cinema streams, I definitely would have saw it.
Yes. Cinema streams. That's the wave of the future. All right.
$1 million idea.
We've got Anora winning Best Picture. Sean Baker goes 4 for 4. We've got Adrian Brody. We've got Mikey Madison, Kieran Culkin, Zoe Saldana. This was a fun Oscar ceremony. What are you guys drinking?
Okay, I get it. Okay. So just like Pinot nominee Mark Edelstein, I'm balls deep in Anora tonight. So this is balls deep from Seven Seas Brewery.
Nicely done, Adam.
Yes.
That's why he was the stick man. Gotta go balls.
I paid for this too, just like he did in the movie.
That was beautiful.
I've got a crikey IPA. Crikey.
Very nice. Todd, you're in a slightly different setup there, but you're in transition at the moment, right?
Todd's backstage.
Yeah, my background would be boxes, so I decided the wall is better.
Zach?
I'm drinking the official conclave drink of losers, like the Kansas City Chiefs, some Agua Fria.
Waters for losers. Yep.
Always be closing.
I'm drinking my last juicy Red Hook. I gave one to Todd. Todd, how was that thing?
Oh yeah, it was super smooth and just spritzy. It didn't even taste like alcohol. It was just
yet
juicy.
It's 9.5.
Yeah, I know. That was the weird part.
It's a pretty good one. It's a pretty good one. All right. Well, where do we want to start this talk? I mean, we've had this talk last few years right after the Oscars. Like they just concluded. And we're on here. Like the one thing about being on here is I miss watching the like ridiculous after party, like red carpets of, trying to catch people and talk to them. But this is better. This is better.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it though?
I don't know.
Well, there was a one year where Stephen A. Smith was at the post show. That was kind of fun.
Oh, that's right.
This year, like the red carpet and like the pre-Oscar interview stuff was done by Sean Evans from Hot Ones. I was like, man, that show has gone from nothing to he's doing Oscar pre-show interviews. Like that's awesome.
He interviewed Donald Duck on a show too. Like that was weird. He's blowing up.
I don't know. We're entertaining, but are we as entertaining as Mikey Madison and Walter Sellis and Adrian Brody and the guy from Flow doing shots together? I don't think so. I think that's much more preferable to what
Adam
we're
Sandler.
About. And Adam Sandler, yeah, maybe he's about to start a 5-on-5 tournament.
Yeah, who's most likely to go join that pickup game? That's what I want to know.
I was thinking about
it. Yeah, Chalamet definitely is going to be there.
He was wearing jeans.
Yelling, come on!
I could see Sean Baker being able to ball.
Yeah.
Queen Latifah was his wife in that one basketball movie.
The Hustle. Yeah.
I didn't see Mahershala there. Like he would dominate that tournament.
True, that's a good call.
I thought the music
or Yorgos wasn't there either. He was there last year though.
The music guy from The Brutalist had a nice sort of Sean Livingston sort of stature. I think I could see him balling out maybe.
Clarence Macklin probably can put it down too. I think that would.
Oh yeah, I could see that. Yeah. You wouldn't want to deal with him down in the post.
And Fernanda Torres is just the coach. Like, come on, let's go. We got to go up and down the court. Defense, let's go. We're still here.
We're still here. Well, shall we start at the beginning? Conan O'Brien hosted. He was serviceable. He gave exactly what you expect from Conan O'Brien.
Started with Grande and Arrivo.
Oh, it started with Grande and Arrivo, which was amazing.
Excessive,
potentially excessive, but still amazing.
So I have a question about that. Did you guys? I don't know if you were watching the red carpet, but like Ariana Grande was one of the last people that was interviewed on the red carpet, and they were like, "There's 5 minutes left. Is the red carpet taped? Yeah, it must be taped. Conspiracy theory.
I don't think so.
It must. There's no way she could get in there, change her outfit, get on stage, and that's not possible.
I was thinking the same thing, but
we all watch Saturday Night. It's possible.
It's like the moon landing. True. It's all pre-taped, you know. It's like the heist in Ocean's 11. They filmed it beforehand, and that's how they fooled Andy Garcia. That's how they fool us, the American viewer. There's no way she could have gotten back. You know how much security she has to go through to get backstage from the red carpet? That's not possible in 5 minutes.
I've never been to the Dolby Theater, so I don't know. Maybe it's right inside the door.
Or if they knew she was there, they would have rushed her in and made it happen. I don't know.
She defied gravity.
Did you see? I mean, did you see the security in Trap? I mean, they didn't let Josh Hartnett out of that shit. You know, it took a long time to get M. Night's daughter in. You know, they're not. It's going to take a long time to get.
And that was a bad performance.
And that was a bad performance. Yeah.
That
wasn't like Naomi Scott.
Kino award-winning bad performance.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I love that music, and I mean, why wasn't Defying Gravity up for original song? I mean, the score was up for original score. They should just put it up for original song. It would have worked.
True.
Yeah,
the show would have been very.
I mean, no one had heard them sing it before. It was like a brand new performance.
Think of this is what Terry
someone's a grouch.
The originality of the music.
I still do not understand. I don't understand how Wicked was nominated for original score. That made no sense. No sense. Anyways, I want to talk about my boy Conan. Conan, I think he was fine. He sounded like he was giving a monologue at one of his late night shows. You could tell he was a little rusty. He hadn't done it in a while. He's best when he's off script. Like, the best line of the monologue was when he looked down at Chalamet and was like, "No one's gonna hit you on your bike tonight."
That's pretty good.
Because it was actually off the cuff, and it was like it was him just being him. But I thought he did fine. He knew the assignment, and he wasn't gonna waste anybody's time.
Until he did. I did like the Adam Sandler gag about the political joke about what he was wearing. I thought that was obviously a timely, funny joke, but that was good stuff, and Sandler playing along with it as well.
Yeah, Sandler's costume designer should have been a nominee this year too, but yeah, I liked Conan as well. I noted that he got the first Carlos Sofia Gascon joke in at 14 minutes. I think that hit the over, so gotta collect the money on that. I did not collect the money on the over one half of a joke about intimacy coordinators. So disappointed that didn't hit, but overall I like the costume change midway through. I thought that was innovative, and the song and dance number, although I don't at this point, it's so the night is now so long. What was he singing about again?
Wasting time.
Remember? Oh yeah,
I won't waste your time. And then there's like the sandworm showed up playing the piano or whatever. It was chopsticks. Yeah.
And
then Deadpool for some reason.
The golden Conan statues were pretty impressive.
Yeah.
I liked when the Carla Garcia or Carla Gascon Not going to mess up her name twice. I like
Carla
when
Garcia.
I like when he said, and in case you're tweeting this, my name is Jimmy Kimmel. I laughed out loud at that part. That was a good one.
That was good.
That's good. That's the one thing with Conan is he's gonna poke jabs at people, but he pokes more at himself than anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
And so
I like him taking a shot at Apple with his like, we don't have AI here, but we do have sweatshop children. They are people.
We did lose little Billy the other day, though. That was sad.
Bezos showed up. Oh no, they just stole Bezos.
Yeah, he'll be on eBay next week. It was good stuff. It was good stuff.
And then for a little while, it looked like John Lithgow was taking over the ceremony. I don't know what the Vegas odds were on that. I felt like that was very reminiscent of Phil Donahue taking over the Oscars in Naked Gun 33 1/3. I thought he was going to throw up into a tuba at some point, but
that was the Tommy Lee Jones thing where like Tommy Lee Jones looking annoyed or something. It was just a rip on that, I think.
But Lithgow was omnipresent throughout the night. He was even celebrating with the Anora people. Like he was giving them high fives when it won Best Picture.
he was right behind them. You're right.
And he presented for Conclave for costumes. Yeah, I think that was if Ford was there, Ford definitely would have been the grouchy old Ford.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into some of these awards. You had let's go to the supporting ones. Everyone knew Kieran Culkin was going to win. Everyone knew Zoe Saldana was going to win. Speech of the night to Kieran Culkin.
Oh, absolutely!
For cashing in receipts.
Pretty amazing.
This speech was annoying.
For cashing in receipts of you owe me 2 more kids.
This is at least the second time this half decade where the Supporting Actor winner has talked about sex in his speech.
Olivia Colman.
Daniel Kaluuya.
Daniel Kaluuya.
My parents had sex.
Oh yeah, parents.
And who knows what the hell whatever guy from Coda said. He probably talked about sex too.
Yeah.
Troy Kotzer,
Mason, Arizona.
Yeah, Troy Kotzer. Yeah.
Yeah. Did he thank Macaulay? That because Hulu again?
I don't think he did.
No, see, that's why it wasn't a good speech, because literally 2/3 of that speech was just some in-joke between him and his wife. I mean, people ostensibly deserve to be thanked for this movie, right, Kieran? Like, are you going to thank people? No, you're just going to have some joke.
But at least he didn't say it was heavy.
It was brilliant, though.
Here's the main thing. I felt like his Oscar speech was actually just an impersonation of Robert Downey Jr. Like, did he just see that Robert Downey Jr. was on, and so he just channeled the frantic energy that Robert Downey Jr. had in his cocaine era? I mean, that's what I felt like it was some sort of odd channeling and homage, maybe. But
no, that's just Culkin.
That's just they're kind of the same. I mean, Downey even said that when he was presenting. Like, you're kind of doing my thing here. Yeah. I thought I loved the speech, and I loved his little shout out.
I like the interaction with Downey and Strong on the red carpet too. Like he gave him kind of a nice little warm like thing when Strong was talking to the red carpet people too. I thought that was pretty cool.
I don't believe the story. She must have known that A Real Pain would be an Oscar contender even a year ago. They must have wrapped shooting at that. I'm calling bullshit on the whole thing. It's that's like the red carpet. It's all a hoax.
She said it.
She said it
because she's like, well, shit. If this movie you just spent 2 months on wins you an Oscar, then you get 4 kids or something. I don't know.
But I thought he was the one
something like that.
I was already.
But he said the whole line was, I really wanted 4, and because she said they could have a 3rd because he won the Emmy. She said, I'll give you a 4th if you win an Oscar.
I see. It's like the plot of Oppenheimer. I'm lost. I don't get it.
It's so simple that it's over Zach's head. Well, Zoe Saldana wins Best Supporting Actress. There wasn't really much drama there. I think the only drama there was I was shocked that Ariana Grande could sit in that dress because she had like those poofs going out from the sides. Like I saw her on the red carpet, and like, is she gonna be able to sit? And yeah, she was sitting, so I guess she could.
I think I've only ever seen her looking straight up. Like, is she like 4 feet tall or something, or is she always in the front row? She's always just looking straight up at something.
She was in the front row.
Yeah, the front row. The front row was interesting this year because you got Timmy and Demi and Ariana. Oh, and of course Carly Jenner. Yeah, but
Coleman Domingo was in the front row too.
Coleman Domingo was front and center.
And Coleman Domingo was Mikey.
He was in the Meryl Streep spot.
Mikey was not front row.
Oh, see that? I mean, and Demi was. That was a bit of a bad omen there, I would think. But
you knew Coleman was front row because he was the first one to stand up during the Quincy Jones tribute.
Yeah, he was.
All of a sudden, like, there's some dude in a red suit. That's got to be Coleman Domingo.
I was wondering who was, because the Queen was really struggling to get people up. Only about 7 people stood up. I was wondering who else would stand. I was hoping Timmy would. I was like looking to the left. I thought maybe we'd get a Bob Dylan, but I don't think he stood. I don't think the audience was a big fan of The Wiz because, obviously we're celebrating the 43rd anniversary of it. I mean, huge year for it, of course.
That had to be the worst part of the ceremony. Like, that was like, as Simon Cowell always says, like, that was a tuneless song. Like, I have no idea what the hell that was. It was awful. I walked out of the room. I had to go get another drink, but I was like, that was a terrible song. That was the terrible part of the ceremony.
Okay.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Screw the supporting awards. We need to talk about these bullshit performances, okay? First of all, Conan comes out and says, I'm going to do a good job getting you through this ceremony. Conan, you didn't, all right? We had a 12-minute tribute to James Bond for some reason. I mean, give me a break. And Lord knows we all love Quincy Jones. R.I.P., that's great. But, like, you're not even going to have a single tribute to David Lynch? A 12-minute bullshit to James Bond, but not a single mention of David Lynch. And then and I get that Gene Hackman only died a few days ago. I had the morbid thought that if they had actually found his body sooner, maybe they would have had time to put together a proper clip package. But I'm just saying it was just oddly distributed. And Sean Baker, I'm not saying Sean Baker should have edited this because I didn't love his editing in Anora, but this show needed a better editor.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Adam.
No, I was going to make another Wizard of Oz joke. It's a bummer we couldn't celebrate the 40th anniversary of the Return to Oz, as we're doing all the other.
There we go.
Love for the other Oz movies.
Yeah. Had these. As I was thinking through, you had obviously there were some musical numbers they wanted to do, right? They wanted to start the show off with Wicked. They wanted to do a Quincy Jones tribute, and they wanted to do this Bond tribute. I mean, I kind of get it. The producers just won an honorary Oscar. By the way, no clip of the Governor Awards. Usually at least you show some snippets of the speeches, but no clip of it. But instead, you have the James Bond tribute, you have the Quincy Jones tribute, which were 2 of the people that won. And
you have the group circle jerk for the art directors and costume designers. Like, what the hell?
That was interesting. I wasn't sure about that.
Those were actually kind of cool, I thought. Like, I liked the Bill and Yang coming out in the costume. That was kind of funny. I wish they had all costumes, though. That would have been funny to have, MVP of the ceremony, John Lithgow, coming out in the robes. I would be for that next
and
year.
More hair. I mean, crazy.
Yeah, I didn't mind that because Conan set the stage at the beginning of saying we're more than just the actors. We're a bunch of unknown people, unnamed people that you don't see, and that this is our night for everybody. And so they're gonna truly honor those ones. I got it. I get it. The one thing I thought was interesting is they had Divine Joy Randolph and Robert Downey Jr. talk about the supporting, but then they had clip packages for the leads. Why did they do it for one and not the other? I'm like, oh, so someone didn't have to go up there. So Emma Stone didn't have to go up there for 2 minutes and talk about Carla Sofia Gascon and how amazing she is. That's the reason they did it differently. And
that makes such a good point.
Yeah.
I'm surprised she showed up, honestly, but anyway.
Good on her to show up. I mean, she got the nomination. She earned that seat. And
Well, going back for a second, I like the idea of bringing up some representative from every movie to do. It doesn't need to be a circle jerk like they did like 15 years ago when, Jeff Bridges won and they gave him a 15-minute tribute before he accepted the award. But I like the idea of like having someone from each movie come out on stage as like a representation of it, and it doesn't have to be a human. I mean, when the best animated nominees come out, have the cat from Flipped come out, or Flow, excuse me, not Flipped. Yeah, I like that idea. That's kind of fun. We just don't need the circle jerk part, but have a prop maybe, like have the substance actually sitting there. That would be kind of cool.
We need to test what's in that cup.
Yeah. Shout out to Latvia, first Oscar for Latvia, and that what that means. Balls in your court, Estonia.
Yeah, and then like the costume designer first
black man to win for costumes. So balls in your court, Estonia.
Do you think Kristaps Porzingis has seen Flow? What are the odds? I think he's probably heard of it by this point, right? I mean, it's got to be a national treasure at this point.
I'm gonna say yes. Yeah,
if he's listening, he could ring in.
I was trying to think of a Brazilian star to see if they've seen I'm Still Here, but probably. Todd, Brazil went 1 for 3. I see you have on your thing.
Yeah.
You're just trolling now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they were clowning on me, so they deserve it. I mean, it did win an international film, so I guess that's good for them. Walter Salles got up there and gave his speech. That was cool. I like some of his movies.
Dark Water.
And what's interesting is like Amelia Perez won.
Yes.
Amelia Perez won supporting actress, and it won song, and couldn't pull off the international film even. Like I thought I'm Still Here had enough momentum to get there. I had predicted it to win, but still, like that. Wow, that was impressive. I didn't expect that.
Yeah,
they edited it in a way where it was like I had texted you guys. There was everyone only had 2 wins or less with going into like the last like 5 categories. So it really was looking like it was going to be wide open. And the only reason why we knew that it wasn't going to stay like that was because they put editing in the beginning. Like if they would put editing like 6th to last or something, then we really would have had a wide open game and nobody would have had multiple awards. Pretty much, you know.
I was still going for Amelia Perez to win editing. I thought it was the one that made the most sense because it was like the most editing gets the editing, and it was the most editing. And I thought, I mean, a tech like that, the backlash shouldn't have gotten all the way to that, but apparently it did. So
I think it was the shortest of the movies too.
Yeah, it's possible.
I was really hoping
it would have made sense.
I was really hoping Will Smith would step out and give Carla Sofia Gascon Best Actress. That I think I put some money on the plus 10,000 on that. That was a wasted ticket. But
since he's banned from the Oscars for 10 years, sorry, I think 8 more. Yeah.
Amelia Perez, first movie to win Song and Supporting Actress. I texted that to you. That blew my mind. That had never happened before in the history of the Oscars. That's a crazy overlap.
Did you do that research?
No, of course not. I'm not that smart.
That's why I didn't respond. I was like, that sounds like bullshit.
It did. Well, yeah, I can understand why you call bullshit on it, but it was from, I believe, a pretty verified source. But yeah, that's pretty wild. Go
ahead.
No. Your comment is going to be much more interesting, Adam.
Well, for the Oscar novices, what's the other animated films I got nominated for animated and international movie?
Flea. I think that's the only other one.
Yeah, it was like a document. Yeah, but they said 3 of them did.
Oh, well, Waltz with Bashir didn't get nominated for animated film, but it got nominated for foreign film, I think.
Okay. Oh, so only so it was only 3 animated films had been nominated for international. Was that the idea?
And that's why Todd is our Oscar expert. Todd, can you tell us a little bit more about your 9-1 Anora ticket? I mean, this is one of the great gambling moments in the history of the Oscars. We've completely blown the lead here.
Well, yeah, I bet that back in September, like pretty much when I think it was around when Toronto was happening or something, and Anora looked like it was doing well again. I was like, okay. I went on Bovada. I was like, okay, 9-1. I might as well take a shot. It was like the third or fourth on the list. And then, of course, by the time the ceremony happened, it was minus 300. I bet it again at 5-1 when it won at one of the other one. Oh, when it won DGA and PGA, I got ahead of them taking it down. So, yes, 9-1. I'm pretty happy about that. That was a no sweat for like a couple months.
What was the favorite back in September when you bet that?
I mean, I think it was always the Brutalist. I think, like, but from when people knew what the Brutalist was, I think that was always the favorite.
Okay.
Well, this is one of your great moments, alongside predicting the secret in their eyes and whatever.
I didn't bet on that though.
Yeah.
That Birdman a year in advance. That was one of my best. Not Megalopolis. That was a bad one, but
Birdman. Yep, Birdman. Birdman.
And then your original prediction came true because Demi Moore did not win. I was prepared to give you shit about that for the rest of your life because on our review you said the Oscars are not gonna. They don't like Demi Moore. And that was for a while looking like your worst take, but you got redeemed by the Anora 9-1 and Mikey Madison.
Yeah, so let's talk about that one because I think the lead categories were the most drama really of the night. Like who was going to win actor, who was going to win actress.
SAG really kind of split everything.
Yeah, you just mentioned Mikey Madison winning. It was like one person in the Oscar challenge had Mikey Madison winning, which currently is not up because our website was freaking out on me during the Oscars. And I think the last freak out was mid upload. So it just like died on me. So
too many Brazilians logging on.
Yeah, that probably was it. But all the momentum felt like it was behind Demi Moore after winning the SAG. Even though Mikey won the BAFTA, you also had the correlation with if you've got a lead that the film is going to win makeup, that usually bodes well too. And so that was all pointing to Demi. And I guess Anora was just that strong and Mikey pulled it out. I was kind of shocked by that one.
It's like Emma Stone win last year. It's like it was kind of a shocking win.
It all goes back to the fact that the votes had already been cast by the SAGs. And had the SAGs been at an earlier date and had the voters seen maybe some of the vulnerabilities, maybe the race is different. But they voted at the precise time when Anora was at its strongest after.
But the SAG votes and the Academy votes were due at like the exact same time. And they were voting, and the same people were voting.
The Academy is more international, and the BAFTA is like the Nora, and Anora is just popular everywhere. Like it won the Cannes. Like and the Oscars are way more likely to award young actresses. Like I remember when Jennifer Lawrence won, it was just like, I don't think they need to do this yet, and it wasn't even like her best performance. But they love anointing the next young woman, not young men, unless they're Adrian Brody.
Well, that was true about 10 years ago. Yeah. I felt like it started changing maybe when Gary Oldman won or one of these other bullshit winners that was more for a legacy award. And then they've fallen in love with the legacy awards the last few years. So that's why I stuck with Demi in my ballot, even though last week Terry and I both predicted Mikey. But I think I texted this to Todd at some point. I can't think of another year where the best actress winner was someone that I had never heard of the year before. Like that's pretty unusual. Like at least you had heard of Jennifer Lawrence or Brie Larson, but like Mikey Madison, I mean, unless you were a real big fan of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, I had no idea who she was.
I would say Marion Cotillard.
Scream 5. Sorry, Scream 5.
Yeah, but I knew her from some French movies, so I'm an aberration on that. But that's not a bad example.
Yeah, but you're right. A complete unknown coming out and taking that award, not actually a complete unknown. That movie got like shut out, but Mikey Madison as a complete unknown.
So Mikey Madison, like obviously she was in Once Upon a Time, but she is coming from as a Scream 5. That was like her movie that broke out.
You.
Obviously, I knew her like way before. Like that's when her and Jack Quaid really kind of burst out on the screen, and Jack Quaid eventually got The Boys, he's a fantastic in that. He's gonna have 2 movies out in the next like 4 months of this year. He has Novocaine coming out next week or something like that, or a couple weeks. But Jack Quaid and Mikey Madison. Mikey Madison, great in Anora. Probably the most seductive Criterion cover of all time, but also like just an awesome win too. So I didn't see it. I'm hearing it's good. It was a good. How was the speech? My feed cut out. So
it was good. She read it. Like she had a little piece of paper
on Reddit?
that she read from.
Oh no, she read it. Okay, my bad.
Yeah. She live broadcasted on Reddit. Yeah.
Adam, what did you think the speech was about? That should be the category. What did Adam think?
Well, I gotta put a ring on it. I don't know. Yeah,
she said something like, "I'm gonna wake up. I'll probably wake up tomorrow." I think she was saying like as if it was a dream, but she didn't say that. She just said, "I think I'm probably gonna wake up tomorrow." Like she might die. That's what it sounded like. That's why no one reacted to that. It was like, what?
Was there a small part of you that when Emma Stone opened that envelope, she was gonna say Fernanda Torres? Like small party of somewhere was like, this is gonna happen.
No.
Yeah.
No.
I mean, Brazil was 1 for 1 at the time.
The pause, the interesting pause was Quentin. Quentin paused for like at least 3 seconds before reading Sean Baker's
and then
name.
he said Anora.
He said Anora. He didn't even say Sean Baker.
So much so that I thought it was maybe going to be something weird, like a tie or something, like some sort of mess up. But no, it was just a very large embellishment.
He was probably just drunk. He was talking like the way Quentin does. So like, and here are the nominees.
Sean Baker having his like I'll drink until next morning moment, getting all his wins. Like function. Oh yeah.
Well, is he the first one to win 4 in the same ceremony?
Walt Disney won 4 in 4 different categories in 1 year.
I mean, he's the
first one for the same movie.
He's got it. If Adrian Brody was on screen for like 3 hours, Sean Baker must have been on stage for like at least 3 hours tonight. I mean, he was up there every 5 minutes.
Which was still less than Adrian Brody.
Well, and James Bond.
Turn music off. I've done this before.
Quote of the night.
Well, see, at the SAGs, Kieran, the first thing you said was like, "I'll make this short." Unlike Adrian Brody, there was no reason to take that jab. But I mean, now it plays out. It plays out a week later.
He is pretty long-winded. I was wondering kind of where the speech was going. It did seem to have some weird. It was kind of like The Brutalist. It had an intermission when he told the music to shut off, and then he stopped talking. I was hoping
he was taking fan requests from callouts from the stands of who should I thank? Oh yeah, I should thank that person. Okay,
the person that inspired that story. Okay.
Yeah, good call.
He was throwing the gum. I thought the gum was going to be some reference to kissing Halle Berry because he talked in that speech about it, how he had.
He had to get rid of the gum before he went and kissed Cillian Murphy, and he didn't.
He was totally going to kiss Cillian Murphy.
He just gave him a very sincere hug.
Yeah,
he leaned in for a second. There
was a noticeable amount of male kissing tonight. Every single male Brutalist winners kiss Brady Corbet on the lips.
Yeah,
by the way,
best score LOL guy. LOL. Sorry, LOL. Kissed.
He was
LOL. Kissed right on the lips.
LOL. Can I tell you what I wrote down about LOL? I said LOL took longer to get on stage than Bartolo Colon's home run trot.
That's not bad.
Well,
that's a good one.
Wait, and you were like when they brought out the 5 people to circle jerk around the cinematographers, it was not the Mindy Kaling situation where you're like, there's no way Mindy Kaling's going up there and saying lol, you know. I was like, oh, so Brutalist is winning this one.
Yeah, I said last week I didn't think a person named Lol could win an award. I also said, and Todd knows this, I said that Christopher Nolan was not going to read Sean Baker's name. So the minute that Tarantino came out, I was like, oh, Sean Baker's got this because stupid, Nolan didn't bother to show up tonight. Where was Christopher Nolan? What? I mean, isn't the Odysseus movie already wrapped?
Yeah. Filming.
I don't know.
Yeah, no,
So this weekend I did some homework. So circling back to the best actor category, I watched Conclave and I watched a Complete Unknown.
Oh,
so Timothy Chalamet is amazing in that movie, and I think he would have been the one I would have voted for out of the 5. He's really good. But Adrian Brody, the Brutalist, I'm not the biggest fan, but at the same time, Brody's really good. But him winning SAG and immediately making the odds 51 to 49% on like who was winning, that's pretty crazy. That's like, and I think I heard Anora coming in at like 63% odds to win Best Picture. It was the lowest that a Best Picture winner had in a very long time. I can't remember the stat, but it's pretty.
Heading into the ceremony.
Heading into the ceremony, yeah, it was like a 63% because of the ensemble win at the SAG went to Conclave. Conclave was.
I was listening to Next Best Picture last week doing their final predictions, and they were saying there was a world where Tonight went and Anora won picture, and that was it. Like very real
that's what
possibility.
I predicted last week too,
and which has never happened before. I mean, you had Grand Hotel won picture, and it was its only nominee.
I think Around the World in 80 Days also won 0 other awards.
No, okay. I think it won like story or something, or cinematography.
No, Greatest Show on Earth.
So
okay.
Go ahead.
I was going to say about Best Actor and Best Actress. So we said earlier they showed the clips. I loved that the clips were back. Let's bring on more clips. The clips were great. What was interesting about the Best Actor clips, I thought, was the scene they showed of Brody. Great scene. I mean, that really might have been his best acting in the movie. That was a tremendous moment in the movie when he's driving the car, kind of toward the end of the movie. I thought the Timmy scene was a little weak. It wasn't even him singing. It was just him kind of sitting there. He didn't look at all like Bob Dylan in that scene. I thought they could have chosen a much more impressive scene. And at that moment, I thought, well, then it's now got to be Brody, right? That's the better scene to choose. Was Brody's scene. But what was kind of interesting also was that in the actress packages, I thought Mikey's scene was pretty weak. It was just her going out of the strip club. And I thought Demi's scene was the strongest scene that she had in the movie. So I thought, oh, Demi's probably going to win, just like Adrian Brody had the best scene that was shown of his film. So I don't know. I think they got to rethink those clip packages. I would say the same thing also about some of the clips were a little bizarre. I don't know.
That might have been the only clip package they could show of Mikey Madison that didn't drop one of those 400 and some F-bombs.
Or being on a stripper pole. Yeah, that's a fair point. They did it with Marissa Tomei, though, in 2008. They must have found a scene of her.
Yeah, because there's actually, they went on a date.
There are scenes of her.
They could have just showed her screaming to Yura.
Yeah, that's true.
Is this the first time do we have an Academy Award-winning stripper performance? Now, does this make us rethink all of our stripper power rankings from a year ago, which I keep circling back to? I mean, she has to be number one. It's the only stripper to win an Oscar, right?
Is it?
Well, let's ask our Oscar guru, Todd.
Well, they had this conversation with Jennifer Lopez with Hustlers, too.
But she didn't even get a nomination.
Well, didn't we do a best stripper characters power rankings at one point? I think we talked about this.
She immediately has to go to number one on anyone's list. I had Chris Farley on SNL.
That's right, you did. Would you count like Catherine Zeta-Jones in Chicago?
No, absolutely not. That's a PG-13 movie. And she wasn't a stripper, she was a nightclub singer.
What about what about Liza Minnelli in Cabaret? Is Cabaret close enough?
Same thing. No, absolutely not. The closest we would get would be like Cillian Murphy last year. I mean, he was definitely showing off a lot. As with Emma Stone, hey, is nudity back for the bet? This is the second year in a row that both leads have done nude scenes.
We got a comment.
We got a
Bad
comment.
Rage 13.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Mikey Madison shouldn't have won. She took off her clothes. And
well, she's gonna go hang out in her mansion or whatever.
Yeah, that was the scene. That was a good impression. Is this someone?
It was more than that. It was more than that, but I don't know.
Like you saw her speech, she's nothing like that character. That was an unbelievable departure from what she does.
Yeah,
right.
I mean,
I compared it to like listening to Danielle Brooks or Gabrielle Sidibe get interviewed for the first time at the Oscars, and you go, "Holy crap, that's who they are!" Then yes, that was an amazing performance.
I don't really think anyone who actually bothered to watch The Brutalist or Anora who could really conceive of anything that bad to say about either of those performances. I mean, those two actors are in like every single scene of those movies, and they just dominate, and they have accents, and they do crazy shit that does sometimes involve sex scenes. Those were great. I think these might have been the two best lead performances we've had at the Oscars. Gosh, maybe in decades. I don't know. I'd have to go back to the records, but they both great performances, very deserving.
Favorite,
and yet I could have easily seen Chalamet win too. Yeah. Like Chalamet gave an amazing performance as well, and I guess they're just looking at him and saying it's not his time. Like it was one where for actor I was thinking I went with Chalamet because I felt it was more likely that Chalamet was going to be crowned, especially after his SAG speech. Then Adrian Brody was going to get a second win after doing nothing really of any great consequence for the last 22 years.
Yeah,
well,
that's a good point.
I think there's a lot of international voters, for one thing. And I think there's still a perception that Timothée is too young, because he would have been the youngest winner had he won Best Actor tonight.
And yet it was his second nomination, and could have been third if he had been nominated for Dune.
Or A Beautiful Boy.
Well, that wasn't going to happen.
Beautiful Boy.
Yeah. Beautiful at the SAG nom.
Yeah. Like it feels like he's been around forever, and yet he still would have been the youngest one to win.
Well, they just don't award young men because there are too many older men that haven't won, because those were the movie stars for the longest time. So they constantly are having to give awards to Joaquin Phoenix and
Brad Pitt
and Colin Firth and whoever else that have been around forever, worked forever. It's like, okay, this is their time.
Well, and we talked about this last week, but Timmy's PR team, I mean, College Game Day, come on, that's not the right move. You got to you talk about your Hungarian relatives, okay? Give 8-minute speeches with where you take audience requests for who to thank. He did everything right in this, and Timmy and Timmy, I don't know, the SNL stuff, sure, but I don't know. Maybe do a video with Bob Dylan on YouTube. That might, or on TikTok. That might have helped.
He did, but he didn't show up.
Campaign. Oh, that's true.
Or maybe if Dune came out later in the year and he had both of those like peaking at the same time, then he would have won the same way Kate Winslet won. But I don't think that. I think everyone had just forgotten about Dune,
even though it won 2 Oscars. My wife had read an article that said someone was talking to a couple different Academy voters, and a couple different Academy voters said that they would have voted for Ralph Fiennes, but he already won for Schindler's List.
Well, that's Academy.
And then, and then they had to be like, he hadn't won for Schindler's List, and they went, "Oh crap."
Well, he now has not won. His only nominations were for Best Pictures. He's now 2 for 3 on that. Pretty close.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Another interesting stat tonight is Jacques Audiard became the first director to also win for Best Song. Did you guys see that? That was an interesting.
I didn't see that.
The first director of the song of the
movie to win to also have a credit and win an Oscar for the song. But the barrier for me always with this Oscars was, and I know you guys feel differently, but I feel like the Oscars have really just gone downhill the last few years. I think the last 3 Best Pictures all sucked. None of them were deserving. And so I thought, well, this is a year where the favorite actually is a deserving Best Picture winner. So of course they're going to mess it up and give it to the stupid Pope movie, right? That's why I went with it on the ballot, even though I knew all the evidence pointed to Anora. But I just thought the voters are so stupid and fickle. They didn't even realize that Ralph Fiennes didn't win an Oscar. Come on, you can't trust these people to vote. It's just like putting faith in Pennsylvania and North Carolina voters. It's not a good strategy to do. But this time it came out right, and I think this is the most satisfying Oscar ceremony I've seen, certainly since 2019. This was a great Oscars. I mean, even the stupid wins for Wicked and Emilia Perez and Dune Part 2, I don't care. You know, it was, and the fact, Todd was right, the fact that editing was out so early just meant Anora, it was going to be Anora's night, and that's great. Great for Sean Baker. We love Sean Baker on this podcast. We love Anora. Yeah, it was our #1 movie of the year.
Once Sean Baker won screenplay and editing, you knew where it was going. You knew he was winning director and picture. It was a great Oscars. I disagree with some of your points. I think Oppenheimer was a very deserving winner. Everything Everywhere didn't deserve to win. Coda didn't deserve. Like, those were weird wins.
Those are peaks of the right time.
Was not a good year though. Like I don't really know what would have should have won that year.
Florida Project, I think, would be my favorite. Red Rocket, also up there for Sean Baker.
Anora is the best Sean Baker movie for sure.
I really like Florida.
I'd take Anora over Florida Project too. Zach might not.
I would take Florida Project, but you can't deny they're all great movies. I mean,
they're all great.
This is not a case of Paul Newman Color of Money bullshit. Like this was a very deserving, formidable film that he made. Even if you personally prefer, I think I might like Tangerine of all of his movies the best. That's the one that I would put in and just watch. Like I freaking love that movie. But I love everything he's done, and this is a great achievement for a director we love. Maybe there was just a little tinge of resentment, Quentin giving it to him, the fact that Quentin hasn't won Best Director, but Sean Baker has. That's crazy. We are now living in a world where Sean Baker and Mikey Madison are Oscar winners. Are you kidding me? I mean, that's just absolutely nuts. And I thought his speech was great. And $6 million, 40 people on the crew. Like, that's amazing. Anora is an amazing film. I think Todd maybe likes it more than any of us, but it's like an awesome achievement. And how often do our #1 films really do well at the Oscars? Last year, our film got shafted because of, bullshit. But it's a great win. It's a great win for the Pinos, and it's a great win for Stickman Mark Edelstein, who was up on stage. I was hoping he would thank someone like he did at the SAGs.
I like how you still sound angry after all of this. But
I'm so
like
pumped.
You put too much like stock in like the top couple of categories, because you say the Oscar voters are too stupid to vote for the best movie. They gave the last 2 animated features to Flo and The Boy and the Heron. I mean, these are not just going after the stupid Spider-Man movie. Like these Oscar voters are smarter than that now.
It's complex. The same people that, you're right, voted for Boy and the Heron and voted for Godzilla -1 also voted for Poor Things. I mean, come on. There's a real contrast. I think.
But this is like saying, okay, UConn won the national championship last year. The whole season sucked. No, it didn't suck. There was a ton of great shit that was leading up to the tournament. Who cares if UConn ended up running through? Like, I mean, you just gotta.
It's fair. It's fair, but it's more fun when the film you like ends up winning. And when you know that it's going to win 30 minutes in because it just won Best Editing, it's a great night.
The Departed was the last time movie of the year actually won Best Picture.
Todd, you mentioned how the wealth was really getting spread at one point, and no one had more than 2 wins. What movies all got multiple wins tonight?
The Brutalists ended up with 3,
Wicked.
Right?
Wicked
had 2. Emilia Perez had 2. Dune had 2.
And Anora ended up with what, 5?
Yeah, it went 5 or 6.
That's
the only thing it lost was Yura Borisov.
Which makes me think that it had to have been pretty close between him and Kieran Culkin. But this is the same. That was the same. The Departed won picture, director, screenplay, editing, and only lost supporting actor.
So this is The Departed, is what you're saying. Anora is.
Yeah, that's what I've been saying all year. But Zach never believed me.
Well, I wanted to believe you. I just thought Oscar voters were too stupid.
So the Brutalist was Babel. Then is that what you're saying?
Ooh, that's a good
Babel. I think Babel only won award,
Bobby.
Right? Little Miss Sunshine. Well, that was the
Conflict,
one that won.
Maybe That was Conclave, Little Miss Sunshine.
But that only won one. That ended up only winning one. I don't know. I mean, I'm just saying. I always thought that Anora could be The Departed because its ceiling was pretty low in terms of nominations, but it could sweep, and it almost did.
Yeah,
that's the best comparison. The only difference being that no lead from The Departed won in the acting
because he was nominated for the wrong movie. If he was
nominated for the wrong movie,
right?
Blood Diamond.
Could have.
Right. I thought it was a little. I wrote that it was a little like Nomadland in 2020. I know Todd's gonna say the screenplay was off, but they reminded me a little bit of that.
The editing and the cinematography, it lost all its awards. It only won picture, actress, director, right?
No, I thought it won one other award, but I like that night. It just felt like it was Nomadland. It felt like there wasn't going to be a lot of
Well, Sound of Metal won a couple early. It won like editing and sound, and then Mank won cinematography and score, I think.
But most people thought Viola Davis was going to win that year, and the fact that Frances McDormand won was a little bit like Mikey Madison winning tonight. It showed you kind of the power of being in the Best Picture front runner.
I was thinking it was a little like $1 Million Baby in how just its win package was so top heavy, because $1 Million Baby was picture, actress, supporting actor, director. I think that's all it took home. Were the four, but it lost.
I mean, it wasn't nominated that much else either. I mean, well, like No Country for Old Men had a couple more below the line categories, and it lost editing to The Bourne Ultimatum. Otherwise, the Coens would have had 4 Oscars that year. But it's a similar thing there. They had one acting win, and all the above the line stuff.
Yeah, I think what tonight might have indicated is that Anora should have been nominated for more awards. Like maybe if it gets nominated for cinematography, or maybe if it gets nominated for, I mean, I guess I don't know what else it could have been nominated for in theory, but like 5 of 6
Costumes, yeah.
Has any Best Picture ever won 83% of its nominations? I guess Titanic was 11 for 11, but it's pretty rare for a movie to get.
That was
Lord of the Rings. I'm sorry, Lord of the Rings was 11 for 11, but
Titanic
it's pretty rare for
his acting awards, right?
11 for 14, I think. But
yeah, Titanic missed the acting.
It's still a pretty high percentage.
Yeah, one more. I want to talk about this movie too. We got a comment. Bad Rage 13 again. Demi Moore felt the substance on her skin live for everyone to see. I do think the opening with Conan coming out of Demi Moore was really funny, and losing his shoe was great. And so when they also did my daughter was watching the show with us too, and they did best makeup, and they saw the substance, and then she's like, oh. When they first show heavy makeup Demi Moore, she got freaked out. She's like, what? I'm like, yeah, that movie's nuts. You're not watching it. But that was a great moment.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I had a few other things I wanted to mention.
It's time for.
I had some real quick. So the only other movie that won only Best Picture, other than Grand Hotel, was Mutiny on the Bounty. It lost 7 other awards and only won Best Picture. But The Greatest Show on Earth won Best Screenplay Story, and Around the World in 80 Days won like 8 Oscars. So you were almost right there.
It won 8
Spotlight.
Oscars? Really?
Spotlight was only picture screenplay, wasn't it?
Yeah, picture screenplay, and Rebecca won picture and black and white cinematography. That was another one that was really close. But Mutiny on the Bounty 1935 and Grand Hotel 1933, I think, are the only ones that won only that.
The interesting one with Grand Hotel is it was its only nomination.
Right. That's never going to happen again.
No.
Might happen in the Pinots, but not anywhere else.
Right. I wrote down that why are Gal Gadot and Rachel Ziegler presenting together?
Snow White.
Because they're Snow White.
Snow White.
Oh.
Comes out at the end of the month. That's where they played. They went on stage to Snow White music too.
Okay, so I was obviously completely gone by
My
that
thing
point.
was, why is Selena L. Jackson or Gomez, Selena L. Gomez, and Samuel M. Jackson? That was the weird one.
I just thought Gal Gadot is at least 5 feet taller than Rachel Ziegler. I thought there was there was some vertical challenging camera work there. Maybe Lal should have been behind the camera to get the full angle of the 5 feet difference.
Who's taller, Rachel Ziegler or Ariana Grande?
I don't know. They're probably the same height, but Grande's still looking up.
I think they're both taller. Oh,
that's a good line. That's a good line, Adam.
There we go.
That was good. That was good. Yeah, give yourself a pat on the back.
Tight.
Oh,
he saved the day.
I don't know about that. I don't know.
Another weird pairing. Who was with June Squibb? It was
Scarlett Johansson.
Scarlett Johansson.
Or Andy Serkis.
Played by Andy Serkis. Yeah.
Yes, that was, of course. That was probably my favorite pairing, but it didn't make any sense. But I mean, I do like that Cohen said those were his 2 hall passes. June Squibb is just like a queen. Like that this might be the last Oscar she attends. I don't know, but I mean, she should have been nominated. One of my favorite characters of the whole year.
That would have been great. That would have been a great nomination if it had happened. I think you mentioned something there too with Conan and that comment. I think he was kind of a throwback to like old school Oscar hosts. And I think you knew you had a very high floor having him host. It may not have been a very high ceiling, but you had a high floor. Like he wasn't going to screw it up, but he was going to have some good one-liners that were going to make you laugh.
Yeah.
Man, I think my favorite might have been. Bob Dylan also wanted to be here, but not that much.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
I like how
his opening monologue was just him doing his late night show thing. I mean, and he even did his little his little running thing like this is me. Go for it, Zach.
Oh, I was just gonna say I liked his what was it? The model pose when he was a kid.
His screen.
Oh, headshot.
Headshot. Thank you. Yeah, sorry, forgot what it was called. Yeah,
Timmy's
and like
headshot
started
too.
with and Timmy, and then Guy Pearce's and Zoe's, and then Timmy's, and then that was funny. That got a few
yes,
laughs.
Guy Pearce did look like Axl Rose.
Yeah.
But I liked the callback to like on the SAG where they said I want to be an actor, and they played all the old first time acting clips.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was a good part.
So was this the most unpredictable year ever for the animated shorts and live action shorts? Because no one got that. It really messed up Brett's ballot, of course. But did anybody get all 3 of those right?
I don't think so. I think I went.
Mine.
That was brutal.
Did I go 2 for 3?
In the Shadow of the Cypress, I think was 5th place. Like it was like 15-1 on Bovada. Like that was the lowest ranked one.
For only one getting that one right.
I didn't even consider that one, and I thought. I mean, wait, sounded like Alian was like the main, like the heavy favorite for a live action short. So that was all over the place. I'm terrible at predicting those every year, but this year in particular, I mean, and I hadn't seen any of them, not even the animated ones. I usually catch a couple of them.
Terry and I both got the girl in the orchestra. See, the title, the only girl in the orchestra, that's gonna win. That feels like voters who didn't watch it are just gonna check mark that as a title.
I also got I'm Not a Robot right.
Yeah.
Which was one of the only 2 that my son got right. He got Wicked for production design and I'm Not a Robot. So shout out to Atticus.
What is
my
with
daughter
the guy
was all on the Wicked. She was totally Wicked.
My daughter too.
What is with the guy from I'm Not a Robot? His name is Trent, like Cher, or I mean, it's just the first name. Did you see that? It didn't give his last name, and I want to know more. He was one of the minor character award nominees from this ceremony.
Yeah, he doesn't have a page on IMDb on Wikipedia, so you can't even click on him.
Is it possible that he's a robot? Because the film was I'm Not a Robot.
But it was the Wild Robot.
No, the Wild Robot didn't win.
But no Robot Dreams.
But he was there.
Wasn't iRobot. Will Smith wasn't invited.
No,
I thought I'm Not a Robot sounded like
away.
the coolest premise of any of those ones. That's why I voted for it, because it's a girl who's trying to pass the like click on the stuff to prove that you're not a robot and can't do it, and starts to question if she is or not. Like that sounds like a cool premise for a short.
Yeah, originally that was my vote, just because like and you do go, if you go by one that's just like the coolest sounding title, like I'm Not a Robot sounded like the one that should have won.
Yeah. But yeah.
I thought I wrote down Walter Sellis looks great for his age. So does Fernanda Torres. Walter Sellis is a very good looking man. I mean, listen, if we're making a movie about Walter Sellis, he's probably played by like Richard Gere or something. The guy is very good looking. Fernanda Torres, very good looking. We should just move to the country of Brazil. I'm not just saying this to bow down and respect all the Brazilian watchers, all 5 of our viewers tonight, but people from Brazil, very good looking. I mean, they turned out quite nicely for tonight.
Yes, they do.
It's true. It's true.
They didn't even put his name on the thing either. It was like, wait, who is this? Oh, it's
that's because the country gets the Oscar, not the filmmaker.
I thought it was just because they had thought that Amelia Perez was going to win, so they had Odiard's name ready.
No, it was accepting on behalf of the country.
Didn't Walter Sellis win for his song for Motorcycle Diaries?
Ooh, that's a good question. Let me look.
So Amelia Perez, is this the biggest collapse in Oscar campaign history?
That would actually prove Zach's point earlier wrong. So he must not have been credited on the song because he was the director.
He's won 2 BAFTAs is all he has. Won the BAFTA for Motorcycle Diaries, best film not in the English language.
Central Station.
And Central Station for the same.
So he
thing.
didn't write the song for Motorcycle Diaries.
Oh, there we go.
But yes,
we love that we won the first Oscar in our history, but it was bitter taste because Fernanda performed. Yeah, impeccable. Yeah, yep, that was a good win. Definitely.
Fernanda Torres was great. Like, she was amazing in that movie.
Yeah,
amazing looking too. She looked incredible. Everybody from Brazil did.
Yeah,
great country.
Fernando would have won. Yeah, it would.
You had narrative. You had a country behind Fernanda. You had a narrative behind Demi, but you had the movie that was taking it all. That got it.
Favorite.
We love that we won the first. Oh yeah, we're back to
that one. I'm just putting it back on.
So that's why I said I wasn't going to be surprised if when that envelope got opened, Fernanda Torres' name was mentioned. Like, it would have been surprising, but it was in the realm of possibility that she pulled that out somehow.
But if they voted tonight, Cynthia Erivo would have won. Like, I think after the opening number, like, everyone's like, oh yeah, that's the one. She's the one,
Man,
as they say in Mulholland Drive.
She's the one.
She's the girl.
I wrote down that it was a great night for bald people. And it was a great night for the brutalist guy. It's a great night
Daniel
for Cynthia
Bloomberg.
Erivo. It was a great night for the sound guy who didn't get to speak. They cut him off.
Yura Borisov.
Yura Borisov lost, but his movie won.
He got a big.
He was just happy to be there.
I heard someone say that they think that Yura Borisov, of all the people this year, is going to have the biggest career bump. Like, he's going to get so many awesome offers for interesting characters, just because everyone fell in love with this random side character he was nominated everywhere. Like, he could get villain roles. He could get like he could have like a Javier Bardem type career if he wants.
Is he the next Bond villain? Like, that would be cool.
I wouldn't doubt it.
It'd be funny if Todd gets some offers because he looks like Borisov.
He doesn't look like Borisov. He looks like NoHo Hank.
I like Borisov.
I didn't get a bump from that either.
No, you didn't get a bump from that. No.
He could also have Bakad Abdi's career trajectory. So
it's true. That's true.
Oh, I hope
those
not.
are the two options.
don't know about that.
Can I go back to the question I posed earlier? Is this the greatest collapse of an Oscar campaign in Oscars history? 13 nominations. Now we know that Killers of the Flower Moon didn't perform last year, but honestly, that was never. Oppenheimer was always the favorite. I can't think of a movie that had 13 nominations and at one point was, I thought, a pretty clear front runner that just collapsed.
Power the Dog didn't win anything.
Post nominations is what you're talking about, not like
right.
The Disaster Artist. Like it
I'm saying
like right before the
Golden Globes. Since the Golden Globes to now, a bigger collapse in a movie's Oscar campaign.
I thought like the day before all the controversy hit, I thought Emilia Perez was the favorite to win Best Picture.
I did too. After the Golden Globes, I thought this is like Green Book or something. Like this is a film that the Oscars love because it's got ridiculous dancing in it. It has a pretentious European director. It has Selena Gomez. It had all the ingredients.
And it had none of that is like Green Book. Message.
Well, the message part is maybe what, and because it was such a stupid movie. I mean, like Green Book.
I remember seeing Gomez in Green Book.
Hey, remember you gave that 3.5 stars.
I gave it 3 stars. I contemplated giving it a bump because of how much it pissed you off, but there's no way.
No, because of how much it reminded you of Mrs. Doubtfire.
That part maybe is a 3.5 star part.
Woo-hoo!
I just can't think. It to me, it's like Ryan Leaf's career or something, or just a complete and total disappointment, or maybe the marketing strategy for Madam Web. I mean, this is a complete collapse. Like, this movie went from winning the Golden Globe to not even winning Best International Film. Are you kidding me? That would have been inconceivable, like, 7 weeks ago, right? I mean, and the only awards it won were, frankly, kind of thankless awards. Zoe Saldana won because she, mercifully escaped from the controversy. And then the song won because there were no other good songs this year.
There really weren't.
So what about like the Banshees of Inisherin swept the Golden Globes? I think it won like 5 Golden Globes, and then it won 0 Oscars, went 0 for 8. I mean, that's a pretty big collapse, but there's no reason for it. It just happened.
It dominated the Pinots.
It did dominate the Pinots and Todd's 2022 list. But I mean, 13 nominations though is crazy.
How in God's name did Emilia Perez beat Elton John? Because
that's a bad category.
And the main reason for that is Elton John had his swan song win a couple years ago for Rocket Man. It was like, it's our chance to give Elton John his final shot, his final Oscar send off, and then they make a documentary about him, and he makes another song. It's like, well, that doesn't work. All right, we got another one here. Bad Rage again. Carlos Sofia managed to destroy the chances. It's true.
Who is Terry? Who is that golfer? The golfer the French guy that blew the Masters that one year or whatever that was.
Jean Van de Velde.
Van de Velde. Yeah, this is a Van de Velde.
The British Open.
British Open. I'm sorry, I don't follow golf, but this is a
like,
Van de Velde-esque performance by Emilia Perez.
I figured it out. It's like the 04 Yankees.
Yeah, that's not bad either.
Well, or like the Braves team that was up by like 11 games going into September and then didn't make the playoffs.
Did you guys watch the Red Sox series on Netflix? Oh, so great! It's wonderful.
All right.
Celtics series coming out tomorrow.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Bill Simmons produced. Yeah, so I think Emilia Perez is the greatest collapse in Oscar history. It really, I think, because even though The Irishman and Killers had a lot of nominations, we've had films that got a lot of nominations. The fact that it won the Golden Globe and then performed so terribly, and not just due to the content of the movie.
That's what I'm saying. Banshee did that too.
Yeah, but I don't think.
Yeah, but this was like this was one person's just like.
I know, but
the fact that it was one person's actions.
It collapsed.
But it the whole campaign fell apart because the face of your movie, your titular character, just like imploded the campaign.
There were other things too, though. I mean, there were the accusations from the trans community, from the Mexican viewers, the whole Johann Sacre Blue parody. That, by the way, is hilarious. You should watch it on YouTube. Like there were a host of other things, and Carlos Sofia Gascon's tweets were just kind of the icing on the cake, so to speak. But
honestly, I think regardless what happened with Carlos Sofia Gascon, I think I'm Still Here still wins international film tonight. Like that was a freight train coming from behind.
Not
that
if
was
it's
going to
winning
pass
Best
anything.
Picture though.
Yeah,
But because you might as well
that
say
Globe winner loses
won
steam
Best.
though. That's the thing is like you said, it won the Globe and it was in the lead and it was, but the Globe winner loses steam though. It never lasts.
You got to remember it was Golden Globe comedy,
last
right?
years it has.
Comedy musical. Yeah.
The problem is that it was Netflix. It was never going to win. Like they have the number one contender almost every year, and it never wins.
Well, they did
have the lead with Netflix did have the lead with 18 price increases this year.
Todd,
so
back in September, before we really knew anything about Emilia Perez, didn't you think that it was going to be formidable? I mean, the fact that it had Odiard's name attached to it, the fact that it was already on a lot of predictive lists about the Oscars. I mean, maybe not the number. Maybe you're right. Maybe not quite the Brutalist number one favorite, but I thought that it was always going to. It seemed like it was always going to be like the Brutalist or Emilia Perez. It felt like those were the two films that were 1 and 2 throughout the summer and early fall.
That's because the Golden Globe's the only televised show we had for like a month and a half because of all the delays.
Jonathan Diggs. Well, boys, I'm going to leave here because we're in the middle of a carnival and we have to celebrate. Heck yes. Or no, carnival.
Go celebrate.
Congratulations.
Best international film.
Brazil.
Walter Sellis. Doesn't need Ozempic.
Love you, Brazil, despite what Todd says.
Great looking.
We're going to have to do it once a month, like review a Brazilian film on here.
Yeah.
I gave thumbs down to the Brazilian film Todd assigned me.
Ooh.
Which one was that? What, Socrates?
Pichote. No, Pichote. No, Socrates is a freaking masterpiece.
Oh yeah, Pichote. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, Pichote.
Yeah, but your Pichote review was like a review of Raging Bull. You're like, I don't like the movie, but you respect it.
It was a very uncomfortable movie to watch. It just felt too uncomfortably close to like exploitation or something. Socrates is a great movie. We should champion Socrates. I don't think it would get us a lot of hits on YouTube.
We do champion Socrates.
Well, of course.
Wait till that Pinos comes out.
More people need to see Socrates. That was an amazing movie. Great filmmaking country of Brazil. They didn't make Johnny. That's also a plus. Or that terrible Pinochet movie in black and white. El Conde. Woof.
Conde.
How about Ed Lockman? Ed Lockman.
That was in Chile, wasn't it? That was a Chilean movie.
Yeah, I think so. But it was still, what's his name? The guy who did Maria.
Right.
Yeah.
Ed Lockman tonight. I didn't realize.
Thank you for helping me with the name.
We don't remember his name.
Yeah, I don't remember it right now.
I'm gonna get it. I'll get it here. Since you guys are.
It starts with an R.
No, it doesn't.
Ed Lockman did look like
I don't know.
What's the director of Dead Man? What's that guy's name?
Oh, Jim Jarmusch?
Yeah, he kind of had that kind of vibe.
Pablo Larraín.
That's what I thought.
Larraín, yeah.
Pablo.
He looked like Ed Lockman looked like he'd be played in a movie by Eric Roberts.
Yeah. He looked old. I don't think I'd ever seen Ed Lockman before. All I know, Ed Lockman did some edgy movies in the 90s. Okay, I think he did some of Todd Haynes's movies and the guy Larry Clark's movies. I think he was a part of. Like he did some like indie movies, and I guess I wasn't expecting to see that. I thought he kind of had a Willie Nelson look to him, which was cool. By the way, shout out to Daryl Hannah. And the shout out to Kill Bill Volume 2. I don't know why she was there, or she's also a Matt Damon Award nominee for tonight. But it was great getting the starring in Kill Bill Volume 1 and Volume 2, because there were so few people that did that.
Which led to him buying his wife an eye patch. But you didn't have a shout out saying that you didn't have a shout out saying Tarantino was presenting on the 30th anniversary of Pulp Fiction, showing up at the Oscars. So
no, because we had to have the Quincy Jones number.
They just have to have Tarantino there every once in a while. Like they did that a couple years ago when Austin Butler, I guess that was maybe that was the Golden Globes where Tarantino was there for some reason. But then they had the 28-year anniversary of Pulp Fiction.
Oh yeah,
they did the Wiz thing
He's
where
48
they had the whole
by the way.
cast come out.
Yeah. All right. Final thoughts. I think we're about ready to wrap this thing up.
Yes.
My favorite
Adam
moment
needs to
was
go to sleep.
Yeah, I gotta
my
wake up
favorite
early
moment
tomorrow.
was Sean Baker accepting best editing, where he said, I don't know if you guys have seen the movie, but I saved this thing in post. That director should never work again.
That was pretty good. That was awesome. You knew he'd been working on that one.
Yeah.
Don't watch stuff on Hulu. It cuts off if it goes long. So missed the last
Yeah,
two.
they've been advertising that shit. I keep getting emails about that. I'm like, I'm not gonna watch it on Hulu. Sorry, Adam.
So it just cut off because it went over the allotted time.
Yeah, it ended like right when it hit whatever time, like 8. It was like or whatever time. No, not 8, but whatever.
7:30.
7:30. Yeah, because it was like right before she even announced like who was there. It was like Emma Stone came out and it just black went to the menu.
LVP of the night, Hulu.
Yeah,
absolutely. MVP is I'll go Adam Sandler. And the fact that that Nikki Glaser started a running joke that will last probably the rest of both Sandler and Chalamet's careers. And that was completely impromptu. Like he just ran up to him, Chalamet,
and one more thing,
ran out the door. That was great. I love that. Zach, any final thoughts?
MVP is clearly Drunk Quentin. I mean, Drunk Quentin got thanked because without him, Anora wouldn't have happened. He was also the ticket taker movie maker of tonight. That was wonderful to see. Also, nice shout out to bearded Nick Offerman. I'm not sure.
I heard it right away.
I did too.
This was the fourth nomination, but the first win.
That's a pretty good impression, actually, Terry.
And a four-time Oscar viewer, Conan O'Brien.
Four-time Oscar viewer, Conan O'Brien.
Much better. Yeah.
I was thinking to myself, like, why is Offerman doing this? I'm like, oh, because Conan's hosting and he'll do anything for Conan. He used to do a bit on his show where Offerman would come in and read the tweets of young female celebrities.
Nice.
Amy Poehler.
Poehler. Yeah. Nick Offerman. Yes.
All right. One more time. One last comment. Bad Rage 13. I felt sad for Demi. She had to watch the younger version win again.
Yeah.
That's an interesting that Mikey could have played Margaret Qualley's role. That's kind of an interesting.
Margaret Qualley's going to be the new Bond girl, apparently.
Yeah, what didn't our text chain say that Margaret Qualley had the Matt Damon "What movie are you in" the Bond montage?
Yeah, I don't know what was.
Yeah, she's the new Bond girl.
She's a nepo baby.
Hey, the new ballerina trailer debuted though. The new and apparently John Wick's in it with Ana de Armas. That's pretty cool.
Has any
screen been in every trailer for that so far?
That was the first time I've seen the trailer, so I thought it was a premiere.
Adam, is this the first time
that trailer's been out forever?
A Scream actor has won an Oscar. Is this the first Scream Oscar winner?
Has Drew Barrymore ever won? No, Jada Pinkett didn't win.
Well, she was heavily involved with the Oscars.
She wasn't invited.
She wasn't invited.
This is true. I'm invited to Rihanna's panties.
I was thinking the same thing, Todd.
This is going downhill quick.
It really is. It really is. All right.
No, Anna Paquin.
Oh, there we go. Of course.
Yeah, of course.
Scream 4. Scream 4. Anna Paquin.
There you go. There you go. All right. Well, that's the Oscars. Love those redheads. She's not one of them, but we do love
Conan
them.
is.
Conan is. His hair was in full effect.
What?
Oh, okay.
Gilgood can suck my dick.
Well, that seems uncalled for.
All right.
Thank you, guys.
Line from the movie Anora, Best Picture winner.
Thank you guys so much for watching, for listening,
Dominate.
checking out the Oscars. Anora is our winner. Anora
Yeah, I
will be
just had sex with a
the
mermaid.
reigning champ.
Mikey Madison is a mermaid. There we go.
Now we're talking. Remake. What was Barb and Star go to Vista Del Mar and put
Splash.
Mikey Madison out there with John Cena on the rocks.
And George C. Scott.
And George C. Scott with the Dolphins.
Yeah, actor, movie star George C. Scott and Day of the Dolphins.
We are completely off the rails now. But thank you guys so much for checking us out, getting our first reactions. We will probably keep talking about the Oscars for a while. Next week, we reveal the winners of the Pinos, which are our awards. So I forgot about this. So yeah, guys, I need your ballots sometime this week. And
you think the I'm Still Here is going to be like streaming before then? Because that's the last one I need to watch.
Oh, I don't know.
Because I'm not watching It Ends With Us. Like I watched the Garfield movie. I'm not going to support that.
But you read all the comments, Adam. You know what happens in the movie.
But I'm not going to support that. What
It Ends With Us is a great movie, though.
But she's not. Anyway, my wife's really following the case on TikTok pretty heavily. Anyway, I derailed this. What are we doing?
You did. We're leaving.
Oh boy,
bye everybody.
Cut this out.
We might need to, but we won't because we're too lazy for that.
Hey! Thank you, Bad
for watching movies.
Thank you, Diggs.
We'll catch you on the flip side.
Catch you on a Monday.
It's much more worth seeing than Quantumania was.
The Oscars till next morning.
Yeah. Drink until next morning. Oh, that's the time to play the clip. I mean, this is...
Thank you. I will drink until next morning.
Yes. We're right there with Bong. Bye-bye.
And bye-bye.
Well, despite Jack's back taxes and the Fred Hayes show, I'd say that's a pretty successful broadcast.
Todd is the master.
Todd is
record.
Oh, by the way, Oscar Challenge winners. I can't announce that. We didn't do that. We'll do it right now really quick. I tied with Brett and Kyle because, of course, that's how it plays out. So congratulations, Brett and Kyle.
Oh, Brett can earn another point if he comes on you need to have Brett and Kyle on a podcast now together.
Well, Kyle's had like 5 invitations that he's declined, but Brett could come on.
So Brett gets a third of a point plus a half a point. How was that? 7/8 of a point, Terry? I can't do the math, but it adds up to something.
5, 6.
Invite Brett back on. Let's do it.
All right. Now we're actually leaving.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.